What were you saying, Senior?
Right. Welcome to the FallenGiantz podcast. Back at it, and finally, we have all four of us. We've also done a few videos that I don't even know are going to be released, but we are welcoming you to the 2022-23 season preview.
Whoop whoop.
And
Oh yeah,
how are you
I'm
doing,
really
lads?
excited.
Very well, very excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. Should be really good.
I want another COVID outbreak to happen. But
Of course you do. You're still holding on to Frankie de Jong.
That's not. We'll get into that on a transfer video.
Sources have told me, but that's another thing.
Oh God,
They'd have
Taz,
to-
are we going to address this?
The sources.
Madison's got sources.
There's a source on Twitter. I can't disclose the name.
I can't
There is a
disclose.
source on Twitter, and it's very reliable. He's
Yeah, but-
actually a Spurs source, but he has done other. No, so if anyone watching, De Jong is basically a Man United player. So,
He's a United player. You've heard it here first. Exclusive.
yeah,
No,
We're going to blow up for this.
I want you to categorically say that right now. So yeah, he's a.
Yeah, that's on you, Madison. So you're getting
Yeah.
ripped apart.
De
if you
Jong,
don't.
What happens if he doesn't? We've got to have a forfeit of some kind.
Hold on. Let him say it so I can clip this up as well.
Yeah,
Go.
you can keep it out. That's fine.
Go on.
So De Jong is a United player.
Who? Luke De Jong or Frankie De Jong? Because I can't trust you.
Frankie is.
Wait, do you talk to this source?
I don't talk. I don't talk.
I just listen.
I listen, and
No, it's fine. Let him have
yeah.
it. Let him have it. It's
All right.
source.
It's a good source. Okay, so
Should we start with the greatest club in England?
Yeah.
Or
All right. Well, who's
oh,
that?
yeah, they literally just accepted it.
Right, who's that?
We
Who we
literally
talking
did
about?
say yes, Nick. So let's start with the mighty Arsenal.
We let them know that this is a season preview, yeah? Or we just fucking.
Yeah, I said it. I said.
Oh, okay.
Did I not
We
say
said
welcome
it's
to
a
the
season
season?
preview straight away. You just open your ears.
All right, cool. All right, Norris, go on. You lot bang on about Arsenal. I'll sit back and relax.
Yeah, Chaz, you start because I get told off if I go in too hard. So
So,
I'll start talking about the under
I'll start the
21s that
time.
have been promoted.
so the way we're structuring this, we're going to compare how you think, obviously, you finished last season and how you'll do this season compared to last. Rate the transfer window out of 10 and just talk roughly about the pre-season and the results and stuff like that.
Fine.
Okay.
Chaz, you go ahead. You start. I'll chime in.
So yeah, I think Arsenal are going into the season to be honest, confident, but I don't get ahead of myself. I know I'm sort of a negative Arsenal fan,
What a surprise.
or should we call it realistic? But
Yeah.
I don't really care too much at the results of the preseason, so I don't care that we got 6 goals against them and 4 goals against them. The thing that I'm happy with is if you actually look at last season, the state we were in, it was the performances, not the results. I don't care if we lost 1-0 here in preseason and that. The performances before that Brentford game, and obviously that was the new stadium coming into the Prem. You just knew we were going to bottle it. You knew we were going to bottle it. And I'm not so. I mean, to be honest, we've got one of the hardest, or not one of the hardest, but a very hard away game to start.
I don't think you'll struggle like
Yeah,
not much.
it is a hard.
No, but
away
it's
game
known.
to open up.
It's known as a.
Shall I tell you why I don't think you're sorry to interrupt as well? Shall I tell you why I think
Yeah,
you
that's
won't struggle, yeah? As well as because I just feel like it's best to get them early season like this as well when they're not ready yet.
Of course, yeah, I agree with that.
Go on,
I
carry
think
on,
the
yeah.
only thing going for us is the fact that obviously we've had quite a strong pre-season, so everyone
Yeah.
should be quite fired up. I don't know what Palace's pre-season's been like, but
They lost
if you're
to
going
us.
to go into
So
a
if they lost
game,
to us, it's fucking. That's when you know they're
yeah.
bad.
If you're going to go into a game, you want the momentum that we've had throughout pre-season to go into that game.
Of course, yeah. I feel that's. I suppose they're the words. We look prepared for the season. Obviously, we've made some signings. The one that stands out is got to be Jesus, and shown it in pre-season. But the thing with Arsenal, and even I'm skeptical to get too over ambitious because if we go and lose on Friday, I'm going to be pissed off. But
Yeah.
we have quite an easy start. I'll be honest. So that we actually could go into a certain stage and be like right up there. And look,
You could
like,
go into the international break top of the league.
of course, and people get very overexcited, but I think that start could be huge for us this season. If we even if we are top, I don't want to go over the top, but even if we got to that sort of in there, we won, say, I don't know, what is it? After 5 games, we've got something like, I don't know, 12 points, 11 points, whatever it is. If we are in that zone, you got to remember last season, I know we played City and Chelsea, but after 3, we was 0 points. I think the first win we won was Norwich and we won 1-0.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, we know the documentary of Arsenal's coming out, and that's like some big speech just to get a 1-0 win at home to Norwich. So, yeah, I mean, I'm confident, probably more confident than I probably ever have been. But the one thing I'll keep saying, and I've said this to Ollie off camera, Nick off whoever, it's time to achieve. It is time to achieve. The process is 3 years in now.
I said this to Senio actually on what we done yesterday. Exactly that. I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just that you could we can't.
There's no excuses. There's no.
I mean, I've been calling for it last season or the season before that, so I can't have another one.
He's been
No,
back.
where we don't get it.
Chaz, I think I saw something 390 million or something. Listen, he's been back heavily or something now.
Oh yeah, he's had money. He's had money now.
He's got
what
players
Edu
he
was
wants.
saying-
He's worked with. He's
Yeah.
got pretty much everything, really.
Like in fairness, according to Edu, we're apparently on track for their process and for their project. We're apparently on track because we were never meant to get Champions League last season. According to them, you take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, but
So
obviously, yeah,
this
expectations.
season, this season has to be
Yeah,
the
developed
one.
during the season.
This season has to be the one where you go out and you win silverware.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you
see
cement
stuff.
yourself.
Okay.
You cement. Do you know what I want more than anything?
Right.
Is cementing ourselves as a top team, like an actual team. Like, I don't want to be a laughing stock anymore. I don't want to be
This sounds
the
so
people
sad.
that
This
like.
sounds so sad.
But no, it's true though. Like I don't want to have that like laughing at us, thinking, oh, well, Arsenal are lightweight now. You can go. I want people to be scared of us. I want to be able to play team and be
bit of
confident
fear.
going into games, knowing that like, okay, I know we're not going to concede it. I feel confident against going away to some of these lower teams and stuff like that, like you would be if you were Liverpool or City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
not
see
saying
exactly
we're
what
going to
you're
be
saying.
there, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be looking at ourselves trying to be there.
You're right, because let's be honest, as you were growing up, Chaz and Ollie, that Arsenal always have, as the laughing stock is the key word, they always have these mess ups in them every season, because even under Wenger, you were always lightweight.
Towards the end of Wenger, yeah.
Yeah, even last season, there was teams that certain losses we had, you could tell in that changing room, they said, let's get that at them today. Let's get into them. Let's press them from the start and not give them respect.
Ironically, that one of them was Palace away, ironically, in that.
It was Palace away.
Yeah.
The one that stood out to me was that Liverpool game. I think it was away, where we started really well. Like we had this thing last season where we started really well in the first half, and then as we got to the second half or something, we'd blown ourselves. So we'd blown out of steam, and then we just got dicked over. Liverpool dicked us over.
4-0, wasn't it? It was the 4-0.
It was 4-0. We just looked like a championship side.
That was the same day Ollie got sacked, so that's why I remember that clearly as well.
But that's why I think it's critical to have this early start in the season, because we potentially may blow out. We have so much high intensity, so much pressure. We have young players. I'm not saying that I want us to blow out, but there is potential there. So, I mean, you could say we did it this season because we didn't achieve what we wanted to in the end.
True.
Yeah.
On,
how do you avoid results like those? And I remember, like, obviously, you played Man City as well, and that was a game that you perhaps felt you should have won, and
we should have done.
Did play exceptionally well, I have to admit. And how does Arteta change those?
I can answer that easily because it's something that we've got to work on. It's the maturity in the gameplay. So because we do have a young side and we didn't have enough strong people in there to see through a game.
At the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and have those people that are bedded in. Like, I think, to be fair, like Gabriel could have been one, like Tierney, Partey, like all those players. I feel like they didn't bed in enough so that so you can see out a game. Now, that for me, when I say like, I don't want to spend too long on it because I do want to talk about the transfers and stuff. We can focus on last season. We want to go into a different video, but like for me, the transfers that we've made this season, the one thing that stands out is the fact that there's so much interchangeability. So everyone can play a different position.
Did I say it, Senior? I said this on the video yesterday as well. When I was,
I think, do you know what? For the modern game, I think it's so important. And the fact that they can understand it as well. If they can understand that if Saka's changed to the other wing or something and Martinelli's there, or one goes through the middle and you pick
even
up
midfielders
each other's
to left back and stuff like that now.
Midfielders,
exactly.
left
I
back
said
to right
this.
back,
my
right backs to centre back to right back. Like I think you just need all that changeability.
Yeah.
And I think the signings that we've made, like you look at Shevchenko, the fact that he can move into midfield, go further. Yeah, I know, I butchered that pronunciation.
Shevchenko.
No, Zinchenko. Wait,
Zinchenko. That's it. Zin.
Chelsea.
The fact that he can go like, and you watch that game against Sevilla, and they're not a shit side. Let's not be wrong. They're a decent side. I know they weren't up to scratch at all, but we were playing inverted wing backs at one stage, and we were playing like pushing them all the way up. The fact there was so many different changes of positions, when you get a lineup at the beginning of the game and it says like 4-3, 4-2-3-1, we're not playing that throughout the game. That's not the set formation.
It changes from 3 at the back, 4 at the back. Yeah.
4-4-2, like 4-2-4.
This is exactly gone.
It do you not feel that it sometimes dilutes the squad? So sometimes you want players in set positions because they're really good at that position, you can rely on them, and they can be that difference breaker in a tough game. Like
personally, I don't think that
field wouldn't be effective. For example,
I want technical players who are good enough and have the quality enough to play in different positions. That's how I see it.
See, that's intriguing. That's going to be the intriguing thing, because everything Manus just said is what Spurs are. Spurs are very structured and disciplined, whereas Arsenal are a bit more fluid and flexible.
Yeah.
So when they play against each other, when they play against each other, it's going to be the polar opposites of how each other play. It's going to be interesting now. I'm interested in that game.
But I just like the fact that, and you think like 5 subs coming in and stuff, you're going to need that changeability.
Yeah.
Like take Vieira as one of the transfers that's come in. He can play like anywhere across that front line in midfield, and you can put him on with Odegaard. You can have him as backup for Odegaard.
It's very City-esque, isn't it?
It's almost like a B team City at the minute.
Well, surely you'd expect that. That's where he learned his craft.
Yeah.
That's where he learned his trade, isn't it?
You expect that with a little bit of his own.
But that's all he has to go off. That's it as well. He can maybe implement his own little spins on it, but that's about it. Like, why would you not take advice off the greatest manager in the history of football?
His influence is Wenger, because that's where he started it all.
Okay.
Then Guardiola. Then obviously what ideas he has, and he seems quite intelligent. So, but I think like whatever I've said, fair enough. Like I'm quite positive. I really like the signings. Arteta's been backed, and we absolutely need to do something this season. And for me, that means cementing ourselves as a team people are scared of, and a quality team. I don't care.
To be honest, I want third. At the end of the
day. Yeah.
I was just going to ask to wrap the Arsenal segment up. I was saying, what's your expectations for this season before we?
I want third place.
Question, which
but wait, Chaz, would you expect a trophy on top of that or not?
A trophy would be bonus. I want to see us go far, of course. I feel a little bit sketchy sometimes, always just saying, I want to win this cup, or I want to win. Because at the end of the day, there might be a situation in the Europa League where we have to make a decision, and I'd rather us be in third where we're sitting comfy and it's a free hit. Or, FA Cup and that. But yeah, I'm not. If we got third, I'm happy. It doesn't really matter if we don't get a trophy.
It's interesting.
You've tasted
that's progression
fairly recently anyway. Like it's obviously Spurs' objective.
Well, talking of desperation.
Yeah, bring up Spurs.
I think like, just because my expectations are even higher than Chaz's. Like for me, I'm thinking about being on that City and Liverpool level.
Jesus Christ!
I genuinely no. My expectations are genuinely to like get third, at least, and then win the Europa League.
Wait, how many?
You wouldn't see City fighting all fronts, Liverpool fighting all fronts,
Hold on,
and
Ollie,
then go
Ollie.
to those latter stages and win stuff.
Ollie, how many points would you expect to be off City and Liverpool at the end of the season?
Yeah,
Because Chelsea were 20 odd points off last season.
Would you be happy with 9 points, 3 games?
But I mean, 9 points would be amazing.
If we were 10 points off,
that's progress. Yeah.
I'd be happy.
That's
with
huge progress. That's
huge
huge progress.
I would be very happy with that.
What if you
Okay, I can't wait to clip that up.
But Chelsea or Spurs were 9 or 8 points. Like one of them were higher, but would you still be happy with that? As in, you've got closer to those top 2.
No, I want that spot. I think positions are everything.
Okay.
Go on, Senior. Go on. Let's
move.
I had actually a question, but I'll save it for another time.
Go on.
Anyway, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so Spurs.
So yeah, just go similar kind of route. How do you go on like expectations from obviously last season to this season now as well, and then what your hopes are, and then obviously rate the window and how your pre-season's gone.
Yeah. So last season obviously was an awful season.
I don't think it was an awful season.
Wait 1 second.
What?
No, well, I mean the.
He's got Champions League football. 1 second.
I mean, no. So I don't mean that. I meant like the start, the first.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the start.
Sorry,
performances, I suppose, until right at the end. I suppose.
Sorry,
yeah, that's true.
Start was awful. Kane wasn't firing.
Nuno ball. Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother talking too much about that because there's no point. And then it all changed. It changed with the game that I didn't actually watch, but the catalyst was actually against United.
Yeah.
What a surprise!
That was a big moment. I mean, I didn't actually watch it or witness it at the time, but
El Sakiko. It was
El Sakiko, which was But I was actually hoping we would lose because I did want Nuno sacked. I'm not going to sit here and say. And then he got sacked. We obviously got Ponte in, which I was really not expecting. It happened within 2 days of being linked with him. And it was just like I was like, okay, we've got the director of football Paratici in before them, which is he's done really well over the past year or so. They're linking the ideas now. We somehow scraped 4th, which I was over the moon about. Like I didn't expect 4th at all. And yeah, we got quite lucky in quite a lot of the season, and then it's it's changed our outlook really.
So I think your world class players came through for you.
So both Arsenal and Spurs, but you're both saying both Arsenal and Spurs both didn't expect 4th at the start of the season, basically.
I think I don't know about Maddison exactly, but I would have guessed that you before the season. Well, I suppose Kane was probably murmuring about
it. Probably would have been United as the 4th
United,
team.
No,
Chelsea.
Don't you remember when Ronaldo signed, everyone was saying United could win the league.
I know.
So it was definitely United and that at least it was definitely Liverpool, City, United, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
It was.
Go on, Karen.
But and then and obviously that's changed the outlook during the transfer window. We have a lot of the players that he wants that fit the system. I've spoken about this a lot before in the other pods, and it's looking a lot better. Like I'm now, instead of hoping, I'm more kind of expecting higher position in the league, perhaps, and some more comfortable games, some better football in terms of attacking sense. Kane seems to be more happier at the club, or very happy at the club now. Son, great player, star of the show for me.
Are your expectations? Sorry to cut across. Are your expectations as high as ours? Like me and Chaz, obviously similar expectations. Where are you thinking is it good season for you? Because obviously there's rumbles around pundits and stuff like that think you should be challenging, like for the title. There is. That's not a lie. There is.
He's right. He said Spurs could be the outside shouts. They could be the outside shouts for a title. Which, with your manager and your credentials as well, I see it.
Yeah, I personally, I'm not looking at challenging for titles just because we're a few players away from having a ready-made team, which is the idea that Conte was brought in for.
Senior, you challenged for titles under Pochettino. You actually challenged for a couple of them. Do you not feel? Do you feel like the levels are too high to think like that at the minute?
Yes, and also a lot of those challenge titles, I don't think we've ever lasted till the last few weeks. Literally, I would say that.
I don't know, man. I remember you going away to Chelsea that time, and if you'd won, you were a serious chance of winning the title.
No, in my mind, we had already lost. I think we drew to West Ham or lost to West Ham, and that was we were close. But for me, I think I felt we were out of the race then because I didn't think we had the squad to cope with that.
So what? So
Poland, also, we talk about two of the greatest teams that we'd have to try and beat. For me, I'm going to get
so opposite to what they're thinking. Yours is a trophy. That's your expectation.
Oh yeah,
that's what Spurs need to get.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, look, Conte has been really successful. Every club pretty much has been at. Not every club, but most.
Yeah, and that's why you've got a world-class manager in, right?
Yeah, and
to
that's
achieve win stuff.
Spurs have to win a trophy this season. The pressure's on. The pressure's right on now. There's
the only reason we might not is because City and Liverpool do another clean sweep.
And we'll get on to them, but they don't look like they're dropping anyway.
But the only thing is, if Liverpool are playing a B team in the last few rounds, and we're playing them against their B team, I want a full strength squad. I do not care if we're in the Champions League. I want a full strength squad to play that. Right. And I actually get annoyed at the managers I've had in the past who don't take the cup seriously, because I think, well, what's the point of me watching this competition then? Like,
you are right. I do agree with you.
He's done it so many times, and I think Mourinho, all the managers have done it basically, and it. So
the only problem is hopefully you just got to hope that you don't take your eye off the league too much by trying to go out for all these cups as well and shit, and then you'll get yourself in a situation where. But I don't know. Would you accept fifth and an FA Cup though? Would you accept fifth and an FA Cup?
I think you should.
No,
I think you should get that trophy.
It's been too long. It's been too long. I think
it's tricky. I think I would, depending on. It all depends on like injuries as well for me. Like if we're affected by big name injuries and a lot of our squad, because obviously we have got depth now, but I still think we're missing a few really big starting 11 players.
Yeah, that's a good segue. How do you rate that window?
So I rate it. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 right now. Satisfied. But I think we're missing, I'd say, an attacking mid, and that left centre back was really crucial, and we haven't got one yet. And I think waiting as well is not a good idea for next season to get one of our higher targets for that. So I think that could be an issue for us.
I mean, I personally think that you're in a good spot, just like Arsenal, to be honest.
I think Bissouma for you is game changing.
Yeah, that's probably, if you hadn't have gone and got him, then I would be thinking, is it enough?
I think Maddison, your favorite, you're most excited about Perisic, aren't you? That's the one you're more excited about than anyone.
Yeah. Perisic for me, I think he's going to prove a lot of people, or surprise a lot of people. I think I really do think he's meant, and it's those wing back roles that Conte really relies on. And we were so badly last season. Reguilon is not being good enough in that role. This guy is going to change our team, and a lot of our younger wing backs like Sessegnon and Spence who've just signed. I know I shouldn't mention him, but
are you worried that if you don't, because obviously we all know about like Conte's short lifespan, are you worried that if you don't do anything this season, what happens after?
Right. What you are making it sound like Conte's dying, bros.
No. But like you know, Conte.
No,
Conte
he does like to move on. So if he failed and didn't get a trophy, are you worried? Or
one thing, I don't think he's going to fail in terms of on his side, and I don't think. I think I'm pretty confident he should be able to get top 4 for us. Okay, and he should get us a trophy if he takes it seriously.
That's
now,
a
obviously,
big season, you know. That's a massively
Yeah, that's a
successful
bit
season.
like. I know he's a world-class manager. I get that, but there's a
he
time
should be
where
doing it now because
in
he's satisfied
previous
with the
clubs
squad. So
he's
yeah.
sat there and not blamed himself. He's looked at the team and said, "Can I do it with this team?"
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's going to take the easy way and go, but if there's any doubts about Spurs and you fail at getting that trophy this season, that's where I don't
He's
know.
very reactive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite
The
reactive.
thing is, he's actually said he's satisfied with the club, with the transfer. Kane is happy and satisfied, and therefore Conte is satisfied. Kane apparently is going to sign maybe a slight extension.
No, I'm not saying not saying they're definitely happy
so I
now.
guess
I'm just
I
saying
guess
if he
that's on
failed
him.
in a sense.
This next half of the season, if you include the transfer window, is on him to prove that he can do his part as well.
Yeah.
You know,
all
Levy
I've
is speaking the calls, and he said he's happy with the transfer window. He's got a lot of the players in. He's got a backup striker that can play across those three positions. Like,
So
it's
you're
on
saying,
run. Yeah.
Yeah,
just to
because
clarify,
to wrap
you
up,
want top 4 and a trophy.
this has got to be your closing statement.
That's what I want. And
No,
Do
do
you
you
think you'll
expect
achieve
it?
that?
Do you
okay, yeah,
expect
I
it?
expect that.
yeah, I expect that as well. Yeah, I do.
All I've
What trophy
gained-
out of
It's
out
a
of
big
interest,
statement,
what
but
trophy?
I'm saying, you know, what's the
You
point of hiring Conte then? We might as well have just gone for, you know.
No, I
I
get
agree.
it. He wants to see
Some-
your stuff as
we
well.
want
His
success
club,
now.
like we're in a process.
But
He's
all
got
I've
world-class
we
manager.
need
All I've
it.
gauged from your Arsenal and Spurs is that you both have high expectations this season. You're
Well,
going.
Yes.
this is what will make this season, and I personally think we'll probably come on to this at the end, but I think it will make this season so competitive.
Yeah,
It's
I
because
hope it
everyone
is.
needs it. Like, you think of Spurs and Arsenal, local rival, they're in exactly the same position. They're going to be going for exactly the same things because they want to be as high as possible and compete as much as possible.
Oh.
And then, I just think
Yeah.
the season's going to be brilliant.
If
So,
you want to
I
go,
think-
go on.
what
I
should we go into United?
No, I was going to say, if
was
you
just
wanna
saying,
go
I
from,
think Conte will actually.
It's
I think
Madison.
Conte will actually. I think he will actually extend his contract as well.
Okay.
Because I think he will.
No, I was going to say, if you want to go from high to low expectations.
The lows. Here we
go.
go.
Yeah, here we go.
So,
So let's do it same format. You like last season.
I mean,
into-
last season was a catastrophe. It was an absolute mess. I mean, I said Amazon have really missed the trick by not doing it on us last season because it would have
Imagine
been
the
a lot
content.
better. Also, it's coming out tomorrow, by the way. That is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
documentary as well. So yeah, United almost literally it was our lowest ever points tally in Premier League history. So that, I mean, that's self-explanatory in itself. It was horrendous. I'm surprised we even got 6th place. To be honest, last year it was a kind of this for the rest of the league and for West Ham not to finish ahead of us. I don't know how that didn't happen, to be honest, in the end. But
No, I don't.
we conceded the most goals we've ever conceded in a Premier League season. We broke all the wrong records. It was. I mean, you lot saw it towards, we started this podcast, kind of a third into the season. So we were nearly towards the end, but you saw what I was like. I was borderline suicidal. I was at one point. And Ollie, you remember when you walked into the room, into my room and you saw Brighton 4, United 0.
Oh yeah.
Like but you know what got worrying? I got used to it at the end and that was the big worry. Yeah,
It was almost expected.
It was just, I can't. The only positive last season was it ending. That was it. It needed to end. I was so desperate for it to end, and I've never. Obviously, I've supported United my whole life. I've never experienced something like that. Do you know when you're growing up and you're used to success? I just wasn't experienced. I wasn't prepared. I couldn't prepare myself for something like that. It was just. I know you lot, both your teams. You've probably experienced similar seasons because you've had some absolute horror shows. But
Especially
for a
recently.
club of our magnitude, that's something I never want. And the thing is, I'll never forget that because no matter how long these players are still here for, which we've got the majority of them this season, I'll never forgive them for being that shit last season. I don't care who they are. They let the club, the fans, everyone down. They did as well last season. So I'll never forgive them. So I would say the only way is up. But I don't think
It
so.
has to be, surely.
I think it is, but yeah.
I think from your point of view, Nick, if I was you, the biggest, I think you might have even just sort of dabbled on it there, but it almost expectation of where you finish, what you win goes out the window. For me, I
I'm
would
not
be
thinking
I
about
would
winning
be
the title.
hoping. I think you said this to me. I don't know if you said it off camera or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is your target, so apologies if you've changed it or
No
whatever. But
problem.
seeing something like 10, 15 games of actual performances,
Just
like
good football.
actual
Just good
team
identity.
performances.
Just identity.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Because you know the way you lot have described your projects and processes and your expectations. We're starting from scratch all over again as well.
Yeah.
And where you were in your projects 2-3 years ago, I know Spurs is a slightly more quicker and hyperextended, but I'm saying that unfortunately, we're not going to get rid of most of the dross we've had. So we're going to have to put up with some of the players that have let us down for all these years. So Ten Hag's a great coach. I think we all agree that, but he's not a miracle worker. He's not going to be able to, he won't be able to, you can't change water into it. It's just impossible.
You basically want to see a direction, right?
And I think I'm going to get that direction. I'm confident in that sense because Ten Hag already, from the 2 months he's been in charge, he fills you with confidence. If he was one of your managers, you would see it. It's hard to see it from an outside perspective, yeah. But the way he's very disciplined and he oozes confidence. He knows himself and he knows his values and he knows exactly what he wants to play. It just fills you with confidence. But obviously, he's not going to get all the targets he wants this window as well. And that, so it's not going to be perfect, is it? Some of the same, failures of the past few seasons are going to creep in, and you'll see it. You'll see Maguire have a clanger. You'll see Bruno have disasters in several games. These things won't go away. But as Chaz said, just let me see a direction. That's the best way to go out a direction.
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
want
be
some
happy.
hope.
But if you want my expectations, I'm not thinking about a trophy. I'm serious. I'm not thinking about any silverware. And I can't take, even though fans will put pressure on United to get top four, I have to be real and I can't expect top four either.
I know you can't expect it. I actually arguably think your best opportunity could be in that Europa League.
I think you're right. I think that's perfect. You hit the nail on the head. That is our way in to potentially fast track Ten Hag's thing. And if we get in the Champions League, then you'd bloody hope that they'd back him as well.
Would you want that fast tracking, or would you want more sustainable growth? Because it's like sometimes when you go that quick and you achieve so much so quick, it sometimes hurts you. So would you want that, or would you actually prefer to see more gradual, steady?
I think at your stage, you can't really say no to a little bit of glory and a fast step,
It's not really, Ollie, I'm not thinking of me. I'm thinking of, if you ask Ten Hag, of course he's going to want to win the Europa League as well in his first season. If he wins that in his first season, he's got serious credit in the bank. So then it gives him an opportunity. You see, like Arteta got the FA Cup.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
So and a manager might need that at your club because it's had quite a bad.
That's the thing.
Buy some time, because that's the thing. Arteta might not have been here if he didn't win that FA Cup.
Yeah,
because it bought him time.
There's an argument.
No, I don't think he would have. During that very bad spell you had around that Christmas time, was it a year ago?
It wasn't last season. It was season before.
Season before, yeah, that's it. You never know. But
it's just for me, it's a no-brainer because it's a trophy, which is one box ticked, and it's Champions League. Like
it gives you that injection of money as well.
I would love to,
and players you can go.
I'd love to win that. We've never won it, and I don't. I don't look down.
Just to address our window, because that's much of a mess. That is as much of a mess as the whole club is right now as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep it concise because you could go on for ages.
No. I will. We signed obviously 3 players: Malacia, Martinez, and Eriksen. I think all 3 of them will hit the ground running. I'm confident with all of them. Is that because Ten Hag? You can tell these are players fitted to his system. This is what I'm loving as well. Like the direction Chaz was on about, we're showing it through our signings as well. They're molded in that kind of way of football he wants to play. So, but the problem is we signed 3 players. One of them was a free, and we battled Brentford to get him. One of them we overpaid for because Ajax had us by the balls, and one of them's a prospect. So I'm just trying to put it quite bluntly.
Although frees aren't I
know, but we battled Brentford to fucking. We had to pay him extra to get it, to beat Brentford to fucking Eriksen.
Yeah, but
it's embarrassing.
Martinez, I think, will do really well for you.
So do I. But
you have to put into context though. Is I said to Nick off camera, like there could be an argument that against Brighton, they could have pretty much the same lineup as
Yeah.
last year.
Ollie, that's what we're going in. This is why I feel. What did I say last season? Yeah, in several podcasts, I
Yeah,
feel
you
sorry
did.
for Ten Hag before he's even got into the role because he's walked into a poison chalice at United. Yeah, and it's going to take an absolute catastrophic change around to try and get this
It's going
going.
to take a lot of patience.
I don't
as well.
think. Do you
It's
lot
going to take
realize?
patience from the board, from the fans,
Do
from
you-
the players,
From an
from his
outside
team.
perspective, yeah, do you lot realize the mammoth of a task he has? Like, do you get like it's more than you can ever imagine? I think because you won't know the
Yeah,
ins and
I
outs.
didn't realize until you sort of held me and spoke to me about the actual squad and where it actually is.
Like, I don't want you lot to be. I don't
yeah.
want you lot to be shocked about certain losses this season because Madison seems to have a high expectation of United, yeah, as well. And that we'll pull through.
I don't.
We
feel
will.
sure.
We will lose to the likes of Brighton at home on the first day and stuff. Like it will happen. It's
These
guaranteed.
shocks are going to come,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
And
no,
they're
but
not shocks
I
anymore, though,
still-
Chaz.
No,
But
no, but to the
Yeah.
name, I suppose.
But I still think you're going to do reasonably well, and I think, like Spurs we're going to play United, and it's going to be a tough match for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's. I think
If I was you lot,
think
if I was both of you lot, to Ollie and Chaz as well, you would take advantage of us now, and I would since you lot have high expectations this season, you should be
agree
expected
with
to
that.
go and beat United. You
We,
should
we,
be
we
expected.
we need to use the fact that you are in a transition period to boost ourselves and
Yeah.
get
Look what
ourselves
City,
higher.
Ollie. Look what City and Liverpool do to us every year. They batter us. Yeah, you should be expecting maybe not to batter us, but you should comfortably beat us.
Yeah.
I
mean,
think.
yeah,
Where that should be a really tough game, you could go into that knowing that you're a wounded
favourites.
dog basically, and you should be like not rolling you over, but trying to
You'll
comfortably
be
win.
put it this way: you'll be gutted if you don't. If you
Yeah.
lost, you'll
Yeah.
be devastated.
There's not many seasons where you could say that
Yeah.
potentially an easier 6 points with United. Like,
Yeah.
there's not
I
many
remember a few
seasons.
seasons ago when Spurs were trying. Well, obviously we've always tried to beat United, but we were struggling, and then a few seasons ago we got our first win away or something. And
After
that was
years,
a big
yeah.
moment. And that would have never happened in the past. And then gradually now I'm expecting us to beat them. Like last season, we lost twice to them. We should have beaten one of the games. We should have won. I mean, now they're the Moscow. So yeah, it's.
So
Let me just quickly go back to the window because I lost track quickly just for a couple of minutes. Yeah, is that because there's so much has gone on. Obviously, we know about the De Jong. Well, I've said who we brought in. It's just more so about the sagas that have continued throughout the window. Like unless you live under a rock, you know about the De Jong saga.
Yeah.
That's dragged out.
Which isn't good for you. Like that doesn't
That's
show
not helpful
good signs
whatsoever.
either.
That's not
That
helpful.
doesn't show that anything's changing.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't.
It's been
I
3
can't
months.
believe this.
It's been 3 months, and if we don't get this done, we were saying this before we even went live. If we don't get this done, the board, like John Murtough and Richard Arnold, have massive egg on there. Like they need for their face to save face, they need to get this done. We've seen them pictured in Barcelona talking and wrapping up a deal with we got the deal was agreed. It's just we need to now. I cannot believe there's a world in which De Jong hasn't given Ten Hag his word that he's that.
Yeah,
there's no
that's
way.
the thing. And you wouldn't be going United can't be going that hard on a player that they know doesn't want to come to the club. Like
Chaz,
what's the point?
What you
Yeah,
think,
but then
because-
what's holding it up? I did sort of agree. I think
No,
I've said
because
this in
Maddison-
transfer shows.
I think it's the fact that Barcelona owe De Jong money. I think that's the only thing holding it up.
That is one of the factors. That's a known one. Obviously, they owe him 17 million in deferred wages. We know this, so we need that to get over the line. They need to sort that out themselves.
But then surely Barca would say to him that we need you off our wage bill anyway. So go off our wage bill, sign for them. We're going to get a big fee, and we're going to give you the money.
Yeah,
That's
surely.
Obviously, in an ideal world, that's what you're hoping for. But one of the two parties, whether it's De Jong's camp or Barca, are making this more difficult than it is. Because I said to Chaz, he's their highest earner. He's on 450,000 euros a week. Yeah, and we'll be. And by the way, if we do get him, we'll be paying him nearly $500,000 a week, which is stupidity in itself. Trust me, as much as I love him, he's definitely not worth that much as well.
Even that getting a big player in massive wages, it doesn't change anything.
That's why arguably they might need to fast track though. That might be why they need to fast track and win the Europa League, because they're sitting on even more of a potential crisis in a sense.
Yeah.
Like Nick, you might say you're already in it, but like at least Arsenal were in their process. We're sort of playing with, the likes of El Neni, who cost 5 million. Xhaka was, I don't know, 20 million. Like you're talking about £500,000 a week.
Yeah.
You're talking about a striker at 37 years old
I was just
on a huge amount of money.
yeah.
I know he wants to leave. Yeah, you can say your piece about Ronaldo, but
I
it's
just
just
wanted to
another
wrap up
one.
with Ronaldo. I just wanted to wrap up with Ronaldo.
De Gea is on stupid amounts as well.
And Varane as well. Yeah. So
Maguire.
yeah, exactly. We got astronomical fees, but the lastly, just to wrap up, because more on the outgoings. Obviously, the Ronaldo saga's dragged on as long as the De Jong saga now. We've got two sagas on either side, one coming in, one leaving. Yeah. Obviously, you've seen Ronaldo's kicking up tantrums. I mean, his agent, I don't know what. Oh no, Chaz is still there.
No, that's fine.
His agent's been hoeing him out to all these clubs, but it just shows you how far that player has fallen. That these top Champions League clubs don't want him now as well, because he's over the hill. Let's be honest. Every dog has its day, even if it's one of like yours lot's goats as well. It doesn't matter.
He's almost ruining his legacy.
Yeah, if you want to be a progressive club like Arsenal are trying to be, and like the established ones, the Bayerns, the Barças, the Liverpools, the Cities, yeah. Ronaldo's not part of your plans if you're trying to be a progressive.
He can't be.
Yeah.
We'll just carry on. Chaz's laptop died.
So yeah, as I was saying, Ollie, and Senio, I just think that Ronaldo, it's best for all parties that he leaves, and he's bowing out a bit like a bitch. I'm not gonna lie as well. Yeah, as well, like I think he's showing his petulance, and we were saying this, Senio, as well, in it, that he's 37 years old. I know he has every right to have that ego that he has because he's one of the greatest to ever do it. But where's the respect for the club before he's leaving? I thought he loved this club, and he's not acting like he loved it.
That's a very good point. I mean, he is disrespecting the club a lot.
He's disrespecting everything.
Like you can imagine that relationship with Fergie is going down and down and down.
I think the whole reason he joined was not because of United. It was because of Fergie, because he loved him so much. That's the reason as well he joined.
Yeah. So their relationship has definitely taken a hit.
Yeah. I think the fact he stormed off in pre-season.
That was. Did you see what Ten Hag said? He said it was unacceptable. He actually said that.
But he didn't single Ronaldo out though for it. He said that there was a few players. That just shows that they're obviously, and nothing's going to change that quickly. But it shows how much of an issue is that players think they can just walk off. And that's fine, because at least he's showing that's not acceptable, and that's not what we do.
He went on to say after, we're a team, we all stay together to the end. As well, and things as well, which is what it should be. But sorry, Senior, what were you saying about Ronaldo?
Yeah, I was just saying I just think it's childish, and it sums up the problems at United. That's it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah. All right. So just to wrap it up, Nick, then what would you rate your window, and where are your expectations?
So window, obviously, we're going off so far. So far, it's 4 out of 10 maximum I can give so far.
Yeah.
And expectations for the season, obviously very different to yours lots. I'm looking at probably another Europa League finish and just better football, mate. That is it. I mean, it's it. And also,
I like outside in. No, I couldn't disagree with you. So let's move on to those big giants and do those two for.
Well, we're moving on to the top 3 of last season, effectively now as well. Yeah. So, I'll start with Chelsea. Start with Chelsea.
Go up.
We go to the big hitters. Chelsea's. It's been a chaotic window to say the least. They have been. I mean, obviously, you lot beat them 4-0 in pre-season. I mean, they look like an absolute mess.
Yeah, they looked a shambles. They just don't. The thing is, what I think's happened there, because obviously we're not close enough to the club to know.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's been so much chaos
because of the new owner.
What's going on with the owners? What's going on? Like, obviously, Tuchel's saying he's committed there, but even he's got to be a bit worried about what's going on with his future. Then that emulates to the players.
Yeah.
So that everything just seems out of whack. And then, like we were saying before we started recording, it seems that their transfer window seems a bit desperate at the minute.
They're going for everyone, and
they're going for everyone.
They're going for people's targets. They're losing. Obviously, Barca have nicked their 2 targets as well. Like
they don't seem to have a plan. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that they don't seem to understand what they want or who they want. They just seem to want to go for good players that they know are good players, instead of going for players that fit a system, that fit the changing room, that fit the club. Like Sterling, okay, yes, he is like, you could have a debate on how good a player he is, but he's a good player that played in the Premier League.
He'll do a job. He'll do a job for
system. I don't know, but it just seems like they've gone and got Sterling because he's Sterling. It doesn't seem like they've targeted Sterling for ages, and we're going to go for Sterling.
Yeah, I get you. I do get you.
I think they've had that. I think the window isn't finished. They've signed 2 big players.
Yeah.
I was saying this earlier. I think Bowley has come in. He's going to want to impress. Is a sign of statement.
Yeah, that first window was always going to be the most vital window for them.
But look, let's face it. They're Chelsea. They were in 2 cup finals last year. They won the Club World Cup. I know it's not the biggest competition, but they won a trophy. Like, they're going to be there next season, and I think they're gonna get top 4.
So I tell you what, just to talk about Ollie's point about the window's been a bit of a mess. I think Chelsea are going to, by the end of this window, they would have spent the most by a mile in the league. I think they're going to go above 250 million. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll be reactive in it.
Yeah, it's desperate. But that's what I mean though with them. They've always been a bit desperate, and they've always gone for the big stellar signing.
People always say about Chelsea. Like, people always say about Chelsea, they're like an anomaly of a club. They kind of thrive in the chaos. They thrive in the chaos of the club, and they find a way to do stuff.
But I think that you can't argue with it. Like, if Cucurella signs, they've got Gallagher back as well, with Sterling. Getting Lukaku out was a good job.
And Ollie, what if they did get De Jong in another world? If they did get him, then...
But their squad, even without De Jong, in my opinion, is actually very decent. I think they've got a slightly aging back line, and they probably should have addressed that to some degree. Maybe not James or Chilwell, but you have to see if Chilwell can stay fit. They've actually got a decent squad. They just need to. I just have this feeling that they're just not going to be at the races this season.
But I think it's a very good. I think it's a very good squad. I'd say it's better than Spurs' squad.
It's arguable. It's arguable. By the end of the window.
Spurs slightly better because of the manager. Okay.
I think. Do you know why I think Spurs is better?
And Koulibaly was slot straight into. We're missing a player like we've got Romero, and I'm really happy with him. He could be really elite. But I want Koulibaly, and he's going to do really well for them.
Okay, I mean, that's a good prediction, because a lot of people are doubting him. A lot of people are doubting him.
And look, I know he's not youthful, but it's experience in the squad, and they're gonna do well, I think.
Do you not feel like the best way to describe it is Chelsea the most unpredictable team this season? You have no idea. They could either win 2 trophies, like both domestic cups, and finish top 4, or they could finish outside the top 6 with nothing, and Tuchel get sacked by Christmas.
Yeah, they could have an absolute shocker, or they could blow everyone away.
It's one or the other, isn't it?
One or the other, yeah.
There's no in between with them.
So I still feel they're top 4.
Okay, well,
I think if they get their shit together and they start organising properly, and I don't think they're going to have a strong start. It's more likely they'll have a strong finish.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're right though, Ollie. If they do get their shit together, I still think they have a top manager anyway as well. So
they do. Like Tuchel is very good.
Yeah, we're underrating him slightly here, because I don't think there's. I think Conte's better senior, but there's not that much of a difference between them as well. It's not like
I feel with the way that Chelsea work with their managers, it's a merry-go-round. And
but obviously you're thinking of the Abramovich Chelsea.
Yeah. It might be different. Like the pressure might not be
there. The other thing is he's also petulant. He can be petulant, and I think that could also be a problem if
he does throw his squad. He does get quite moody when things don't go his way and shit. Yeah.
And what do we what do we think? Should we rate them and move on to Liverpool next? And
all right. Chelsea, Chelsea. And obviously we've done the prediction, so you'll see that when that comes out where we put Chelsea. I think window so far you can say like a 5 out of 10, but
I'd agree with that 5.
But it's gonna it's going to go up to 8 or 9, I think, by the end of it as well. Shit. They might have one of the better windows. And that's it, really. Yeah.
What would be their expectation?
As I said, it's hard to predict Chelsea's expectation. They'd be expecting to win.
That's what I think from their point of view, I don't know, I'm not a fan, I'm not near to the club or whatever, but you've got to be thinking they need to be challenging with City and Liverpool. Surely, they're third last season. They won Champions League the season before. They have to be challenging.
They're a cup team when you really think about it, because they get far in every single cup, and they can potentially even win the Champions League as well. We've seen that already. So really, their expectations, they always expect silverware. They probably expect more silverware this season.
I think Chelsea supporters should be looking at thinking Tuchel's second season. Like we'll have a decent squad. We'll have a very good squad. They should be challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League, in my opinion. I don't see how.
I agree with Ollie. No, I agree with him. They should be definitely doing that. But I think they should. They have a good shot at the champion. I would never dismiss them from the Champions League. That's the thing. So you never know. But yeah, obviously.
So what are we saying about Liverpool then?
Liverpool. Okay, so we've just come off the bat. They beat City in the Community Shield, obviously, the other day. But obviously, I don't want to read into that too much. It was too early on in the season as well. It's effectively a glorified friendly, really. So, but yeah, Liverpool. I mean, to be honest, we can wrap up their window really quickly because they've signed two players. They signed a young Scottish player, but they signed one player effectively, or two. No, Fabio Carvalho is the other one from Fulham.
Going to mention,
which isn't a shock for Liverpool because that's how they do business.
Mate, they are. I was watching.
I think depth is better now than it.
The best way to describe Liverpool is watching a documentary. I haven't finished it, called like the Moneyball thing. Yeah, it's like in baseball in America, they have this certain scheme of like doing transfers and things like that. And obviously, Liverpool's owners are FSG, the Fenway Sports Group. So they applied that to Liverpool, and the way they do business in the past 4 to 5 years is so efficient. So it's such a well-oiled machine. The way, they get money, and it's to do with making profit on players and things. Yeah. They always seem to make profit. Do you see the way Liverpool do their transfers? It's probably the pin of, like, it's everything you want our clubs to be like in the transfer window, because they make profit.
It's so strategic. That's the thing. They have a strategy, and they execute that strategy effectively.
Noticed, like with United, Arsenal, even Spurs, all of us, there's a bit of a chaos, and there's always like these rumours flying about. Like Liverpool, they wrap it up quickly, done. They're ready for the season. They're ready. They're efficient. They get a full preseason into their new signings. It's just so. I mean, honestly, it's everything I want.
This is the thing. Like they must have known. Sorry to cut across there. Yeah. They must have known Mane was going right when the window was opening. They must have known that. So then what they've done is they've looked at their new replacement, who they've probably been lining up just in case Salah goes or Mane goes or Firmino goes, and they've gone, right, okay, well, we need to action that now. Here's your contract, here's your money, here's what we're going to offer, done.
Ollie, they've already signed one of their summer signings last January in Luis Diaz as well. So they already wrapped that up. Yeah. So that's how far ahead of the game they are. Yeah. That's how far ahead they are.
That's literally going to be my point.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say.
Like this, I'm trying to say, Liverpool are so settled now that you know what Fergie used to do. Yeah, just add one player here, one player there. Yeah. So all you need to do is do that just to keep things fresh. Just keep it fresh, keep it ticking. Do
you not worry? But if you've noticed, I was just going to say, if you noticed, like they've been getting their contracts in as well. So like Gomez has just signed a new contract. Whatever you think of Gomez, like he fits their team. And he's a good player for them, in my opinion. I quite rate him. Salah's obviously signed a new contract. The business that they're doing is so it's almost like they're thinking 10 years ahead. Like we know I'm probably exaggerating. We're 10 years ahead, but they're so far ahead, like you just said, that they know what they want. They know what they want. Like, okay, we're going to give you another 5 years because we rate you and we think you can do this, or you're going to be good for the squad, or whatever happens. And then we're going to add a player there because we think that Milner's going out the door next season, or what happens. So they just carry on like that.
So all in all, were we saying basically that not much? Like obviously I think Mane is going to be a bigger loss than people think. By the way, as well, I wanted to get that in.
Yeah.
I feel like the drop off from Mane to Nunez, even though I think Nunez could still have a successful season, Mane is a big. He was the heartbeat. Like everything that Klopp wanted on a pitch, Mane exerted onto that football pitch. So I do think there's going to be a drop off. It's going to be. I don't think there's a major drop off because they're still going to be in and around. They'll still put up a title race, I think. But
yeah,
I think that Mane loss is going to hit more than people think. But
I'm not sure.
Go on, Senior. Go on.
Do you not think that they've undercooked their signings? Like, I know they've got 2 in, right? Do you not think they could have added maybe 3 or 4 to that team just to make sure?
They could have. They could have. If they, no, but I agree, they could have, but it would have gone against everything they're doing and about.
And it unbalances them as well.
I know, but do you think perhaps that would be the difference in a 1 point or 2 point finish of the season?
Do you know what?
Or a Champions League final when the players are tight. You've
got a point. You've got a point, to be fair, because they have obviously struggled to get over the finish line a few times, and that is. I know, obviously, I'm loving it because I'm a United fan, but it's been unfair to them in the past 5 years that they could have had so much more than what they have, and they've performed at such a high level in these last 5, and they're only going to have one of each domestic cup and 1 European Cup out the lot when they should have 2 Champions Leagues and 2 Prems or something like that. Yeah,
but I think it feeds into what Klopp wants.
Yeah,
I think the fact if if they wanted 4 signings, I'm not going to lie to you, they would have got 4 signings.
Yeah,
he doesn't want that. He doesn't think that he needs.
No,
that.
You're right. He wants a thinner squad. He likes a tight knit unit. He wants a unit in there. Yeah, I do get that.
If he wanted, whether we think that they need 4 signings to like bridge that gap, he doesn't want that because the board back him so confidently that
it's
if
one
he
of them,
wanted it, he would have had it.
It's one of them, that relationship with the board that he has. Yeah. It's one of them that it's so comfy now. It's so comfortable with them that he just has to ask them. They'll give it to him. But they're almost like telepathic now. They don't really need to go into too much detail about certain things
because they know what he's like. They know what he gives them. He's a steady ship, and he's got the trust from everyone, fans, board, players. I'm telling you,
Liverpool could have a real off-season, which they kind of did even though they still got Champions League football during the COVID year, when they had loads of injuries.
They did. They dropped
even
off after they won.
If Liverpool finished 6th this season, which obviously I know they won't, the board would not sack him. No chance. He's got too much. He's got too much leverage on them right now. So
I think it's going to be a case of he needs to leave gracefully, and him saying, "I'm the one that's leaving now."
So, go on, Senior, before we wrap.
Yeah, I was going to say, and perhaps that's. I'm starting. Well, he's got a long way to go, but I'm starting to see as a fan of Spurs that Conte is, as in, I'm always thinking let's go for a big signing, but now I'm thinking, well, if that's what Conte wants, that's his style.
Yes, exactly. That's the best way to describe it. You're right.
That's where you see these. That's how you grow into a big club, I think, and I've never seen that as a Spurs fan. So
that does segue into someone who gets anything that they want. In City.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on to City, what are we expecting from
Liverpool? Sorry, we haven't done expectations, have we?
Just to compete on all fronts again.
I don't think it changes at all.
Yeah, nothing changes. Really.
Competing both domestics, competing Champions League. They want to be winning that Premier League.
But this
in my opinion, they want that Premier League.
But Liverpool fans, I've been hearing, they'll put more pressure because they obviously they won 2 domestics last year and they didn't get over. They were on the verge of history. Remember, they were talking about quadruples. They're gonna want one of the 2 big ones. One of these 2, they need to get that over the line. They need to.
I would imagine that if you spoke to any Liverpool fan, they would say,
Premier League.
"Oh, fuck the domestic trophies. I want Premier League or Champions League."
Yeah,
and I'll be happy.
So we're saying that,
which is crazy. Like it's just.
So basically, we're expecting that they're going to be wanting to win one of the 2 big ones. That's it. Yeah, this season.
Which might actually be good for teams like ours.
Yeah,
like maybe United don't come into this at the minute, but like Spurs and Arsenal
and Chelsea,
even like West Ham or Chelsea, and it helps teams like that if the big boys don't really take it as seriously. I'm not saying that they won't, we can't read their minds, but you just expect that they'll want those big trophies, so they'll show.
I think it's so much to say. They don't even just expect, those fans demand one of those. They demand it. Like,
but Senior,
there's no other alternative. Like,
we're going to get into another set of fans that demand it as well. But Senior, when I was growing up with United, that's what I demand. Like you become so used to it, yeah, and you almost expect it, and you get a bit what's the word? You almost get a bit. You take it for granted. You take it for granted a little bit as well. Like obviously, I've known it now. You just, like even when you finish second place, that's a total failure. You're in tears if you're in second place.
Do you know how different that is? I've never experienced that.
Yeah, I know.
Fan. That is how.
Because you're a Spurs fan.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I don't know what
I'm saying though. We've still been a good club. It's just the level is that much higher. It's just I can't even think about it right now.
Let's move on. Let's move on to City because we'll spend ages talking about it. So, I mean, obviously last season we know what they did. They're probably gutted that they didn't get the Champions League, which they should have, but it was always going to be Real Madrid's, in my opinion.
FYI, by the way, I think we're gonna leave it at City, and then we'll do something else. I think we'll leave it. So we'll leave this on City, and then we'll wrap this up after City. Yeah.
At least we just did a few teams here.
No, I've got an idea. I've had an idea throughout the video.
Okay,
it's fine.
So, So I think obviously they finished strong. They won the Premier League. Like we know what they did last season. We don't need to spend much time on that. It's more about what they've done in the window. But then we'll get on to the striker.
I've got a bit of an opinion on this. I think I'm I'm not worried for them because I don't like City anyway, but I think people are getting too comfortable. Like, this is a controversial take that they've gotten rid of Jesus, Zinchenko and Sterling, yeah? And these would every member of that squad was so integral to them being so successful in the last 5 years, yeah, that just taking them out and how used to these players are and part of the system, that this is a transition for City. This is a transition. I'm not saying they could still go and win the league, yeah, but this is a transition. Bringing in a Haaland, bringing in an Alvarez, yeah, and Calvin Phillips. Haaland is a massive statement in terms of it's a sign of change at the way they're going to play football. Yeah. I think he'll do well, but I think he's going to take time to adapt to the way City plays.
I don't disagree with that at all.
And I'm not just going off what we saw the other day. I know he had a shocker, yeah, but I just think that this is a new way. It just shows that Pep's here to stay for longer than we think because he's rebuilding. You know what Fergie's done with his team?
He's doing the Fergie, isn't he?
Rebuilding
yeah,
now.
You're right.
This is part of the cycle, and so is Klopp. Though Klopp's done the same with Diaz and Nunez. Look at this, Alvarez and Haaland. The parallels are quite similar in both clubs, yeah.
But the reason for that is Pep is still hungry for that Champions League with a British team or an English team.
Yeah, I know.
That's what he's aiming for. Like he's still not satisfied with.
But the thing is, I don't think they're going to get as many points this season as they have in the past few years. I think they may borderline the 90, maybe in the late 80s, but I think there will be a few drop-off results just because of the natural transition of that team. And I feel like I'm just thinking it's tough. I think, as I said, they lost them 3 players. There's talk that I can't imagine them letting them go. But if they lost Bernardo to Barcelona, yeah, if they lost, they can't afford that. They cannot afford to do that. Because if they do that, they're in serious trouble. Now, I would check if he went. Say because they're saying if De Jong went to United, Barca straight in for Bernardo. That's straight away, yeah. And he would go. That's the thing. He would go. If they lost Bernardo, I would put Liverpool as favourites for the league. I genuinely would. I'll go straight to Liverpool to win the Premier League without even a shadow of a doubt.
Then like Gundogan comes straight in for him, yeah.
And you'd expect them to replace him as well. But, yeah. But then Ollie, these players. This is what I was trying to get to about these Sterling, Zinchenko, Jesus, even Bernardo. These players aren't easy to replace. These are
they're not.
These are key cogs in that team, and they've become used to it over years as well. And I don't know what you lot think.
I was just going to say it might be a bit premature to be getting rid of like Jesus and Zinchenko at the same time potentially. And then if Bernardo does go, then they've lost a lot compared to what they've brought in so far.
As much as I rate Jack Grealish, we don't know how good he's going to be. If he doesn't turn up like as much he could have last season, they're in trouble because all of a sudden their squad depth is not
we haven't even talked about Sterling going either.
No, but their squad depth though is not looking as good as it once was. That's what I'm trying to say as well. And with Haaland and Alvarez, we don't know. We're going into the unknown with them. They're not. Both of them are not Premier League proven. That's the thing. We don't know how good they'll be.
I think Haaland will take either 3/4 of a season to get up to speed, or a season. I think you'll see him. I think you'll see him in
Still
certain matches where he'll look absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he'll have the consistency for a season.
I actually think Haaland is going to do. I think he's going to start really well. Actually, I think he's going to have a consistent season, and he's going to be up there with Kane and players like that. Like, you know,
I don't know. I think it's a big statement for him. Like, you've got to remember, he's 21. He's coming
he's
into
very young.
new
Very
league.
young.
He's used to scoring, and he's scored in Champions League. He's scored in big matches.
Yeah. But when you're comfortable at club, like he's been at Dortmund for years, like he's comfortable there. It coming to City in that quite. I wouldn't say it's a hostile. I bet it's quite like a welcoming like dressing room and everything, and it'll be quite a good club to come into.
It's stable,
always
stable.
winning and stuff
Yeah.
like
He
that.
loves pressure,
But you look at Jack Grealish. He came into that team and he was in and out a bit more, but he didn't get right. Like everyone's expecting Grealish to kick on this season, but Haaland could do the same. He might not have a great season this season. I think that could be expected.
Yeah, this is where my idea. This is why I favour what's the word? Sorry, I've lost it now. Technicality rather than effectiveness rather than technical ability? No, not technical.
I know what you're saying. The eye test. The eye test.
Yeah, that's it. I think Haaland is far more effective than Grealish in terms of getting the goals, getting the assists, and affecting the game. Like actually, changing the game.
Don't know when you say affecting the game.
It's a different.
That's because you have a bit of a bias against Grealish. You don't like it.
But then again, Maddison, you can't compare them. You can't, because Grealish is a creator, Haaland's a goal scorer. You're expecting that. Yeah, you expect that from it. Like. But do you know what, lads? As I've been going on here, and we've been talking about it more and more, and we've done a prediction, I'm now thinking, I think I might go for Liverpool to win the league, as well. I had an epiphany during when we were talking in this. I was like, I can just see Liverpool winning the Premier League this season. I can just see it.
They very well could.
No, because we had
it's either Liverpool or Arsenal.
But fucking hell, Jesus. But wait, do you know what? That kind of goes into the point that. Obviously that elusive Champions League that they're desperate for under City, maybe it could be their year. We say it every year, but you never know that, like your Haaland, we're expecting him to take time to settle in the Prem. You never know. Champions League's over 2 legs, Haaland will come up
he
clutch
could do
for
really
them.
well.
He could come up clutch for them.
That could be the key reason they've signed Haaland.
Yeah.
To get them those last ditch like goals in Champions League and stuff like that, and get them over the line.
And even like a Calvin Phillips to, if they want to see out a game, settle the game down, and they see the ends on there. Yeah. So I'm just going to say it here right now. I think Liverpool win the league now. I've decided, and City have a good chance of the Champions League, but I've still got a few European clubs.
Are we going to write down our individual tables then?
We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
My opinions are different to my predictions are different to
the whole collective one. The collective one we've done.
Not majorly, but there are some.
There's a few things,
and things like that. There's stuff I would like to.
All right. Well, we've cut. Oh wait, before we wrap up on City, so what are we expecting, lads? They're gonna similar to Liverpool. They're gonna be on all fronts again.
I think all fronts. They'll put more weight on the domestics, I believe, because they didn't win them last season.
Do you not think they'll put more weight on that Champions League they've been craving though?
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say. I think they'll still put weight on the domestics because Liverpool got them last season, and out of the Premier League and Champions League, I think they're going to focus on Champions League.
Do you know what? It makes me laugh.
They're focusing on both. I think
they will.
I'm not going to say they're not focusing on all 4 of them.
I don't even think Pep is thinking about one or the other.
Slightly. No, and no manager would. But I think if you look in the back of their minds, I think he would be going for the Champions League.
Yeah, Zinho, you can't take what he says from face value, because I genuinely think
I haven't even heard it. I haven't even heard him.
He always plays it down. He plays it down quite a lot as well. Obviously, you're going to play it down, but
no, I haven't even listened. As in, I haven't heard what he said at all. I'm just saying that if you're him, you're looking at also 5 Premier Leagues in 6 years, which is
that's
also
crazy. That
which is also like he wants to go down as a Premier League legend as well.
He already is. He already is. Obviously.
Yeah.
But
he
the
wants to
thing is,
cement it.
but he's always going to have that Champions League
He
thing
is.
over his
Yeah,
head,
of course,
which
yeah.
is why he needs to put so much gravity on it.
Unfortunately, Senior, when you were talking about how expectations are so much higher than what you're saying, that's what I'm trying to say. Because he hasn't won a Champions League. That's deemed as that will always be what Ollie said.
Yeah.
That will be always.
It will be that dark cloud that follows him round.
Yeah.
That why he wasn't a whole manager at City.
Wait, listen. Us lot would dream of having 4 Premier Leagues in 5 years. Fuck's sake, as well. But they've got different expectations at that club.
Yeah. So what we're saying, we're pretty much just saying that they're going to be fighting on all fronts.
Yeah, similar to Liverpool. We've seen this. Listen, we've been used to this now for the last 4 or 5 years now as well. So
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I've realised.
Well, are we
Looking
going
forward to
to
finishing third or fourth should be good.
Yeah.
Are we going to wrap it there then, and we'll come back for like a part 2 sort of thing, doing a few more.
Yeah, I've had a few ideas. We'll talk about it off camera. Yeah. So
Yes.
as Chaz always likes to say. Well, Ollie,
So-
you go ahead. You seem eager, mate. You seem really
mate.
eager.
I'm all over it. As Chaz is absent, I've been waiting to do this for weeks.
God,
So
I'll give you the honor.
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.
See you later, lads.
Peace out. I've got to stop the recording now.
You always
Too late.